All right, so today is Friday, 7th of March, 2025 is the first Friday of the month, and today is the long-awaited NFP. And but I will not be giving analysis on NFP. We'll do that later in the afternoon when we want to trade the news. So I'll just look more at the technical setup that is available for this morning session. Don't forget to join us by 2:15 p.m. for live trading of the NFP news. NFP stands for non-farm payroll. I will just mention the fundamental side, but we won't go into technical analysis. For those who might be new to this, NFP is the biggest news in the forex market and talks about employment. Three arms of the NFP. We have the average hourly earning, non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate. All these three together, this is what we're talking about. So at 2:30 p.m. today, the data on this will be released. And employment is a major indication of the health of the economy of the country. If people are employed, crime will reduce, the economy will grow. A lot of bad things will not happen if people have a job to do. Like they always say that an idle hand is the devil's workshop. So employment is a major economic indicator for any nation. So every month, the United States puts together the data of the average hourly earnings, what people earn per hour, and don't know what people earn such kind of amount of per hour. So there's a change. There's a change in the average hourly earnings. See, average hourly earnings, this is a change in the P, is a change in the price businesses pay for labor, excluding the farming industry. And actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. The next one is the non-farm employment change. Is a change in the number of employed people during the previous month, excluding the farming industry. So they want to know those who are employed, those who had jobs in the last month, and the average hourly earnings of those who that companies were paying to people. And for the non-farm employment change, actual greater than forecast is equally good for the currency. And for the unemployment rate, this is the percentage of the total workforce that is unemployed and actively seeking employment during the previous month. So this data captures those who didn't have job and are looking for employment. Probably they dropped their CV somewhere, they are going online, they are searching on websites, on Google, on many other job portals, actively looking for employment. So for this data, actual less than forecast is usually good for the currency. So what's the actual greater than forecast, actual less than forecast, what's the implication? Now, when you have, you can say that for the other two, actual greater than forecast is good for the currency, but for the unemployment rate, which is a percentage, it says that actual less than forecast is good for the currency. What does it mean? It means that when you have less people looking for job, it shows the economy is growing. If you have more people looking for job, if it's a case of actual greater than forecast for unemployment rate, that would be bad for the economy, it will be bad for the country. But if the number of people that are looking for employment, if they are reduced, let's say there was, okay, let's look at the percentage here. Let me use that specifically. All right, in the previous month, we had 4% for unemployment rate. Now the forecast is still the same 4%. If the actual to be released today now comes out less than 4%, that will be good for the currency. The currency will strengthen. So if the actual comes out as 3%, for example, it will be good. It means lesser people are looking for jobs, and lesser people are looking for jobs, it means that majority have jobs. That's the implication. But if on the other hand, we have the unemployment rate greater than the forecast, 4%, then the currency will sell. You have the unemployment rate, like say 5 or 6%, the currency will sell because it means more people are still looking for a job, more people are still unemployed. So that's the explanation for that. We are actually less than forecast will be good for the currency. But now, when this data will be released, to be honest, there will not be sufficient time to check which one is greater than or less than. We'll just be focused more on the colors that will be of the color of the data that will be released. If the color comes out all green, if the data all comes out good, either is greater than or less than, as long as it's a good one, the color will be color green. And if that is what we see by 2:30 p.m., then we'll have a massive bullish movement on the dollar. And if on the other hand, the color comes out all red, that means the data is bad for the dollar. And at that instance, we're going to be seeing the massive bearish movement on the dollar. Dollar pairs like USD JPY, USD and USD CAD will react to this news. So if it's all good, if it's all green, then we'll see massive bullish movement on the USD CHF, USD JPY, USD CAD. And if it's all bad, we'll see massive bearish movement on the same instrument. Now, it's also possible that this data may conflict, due to many factors. Now, if you are aware of what is happening in the US, just in the month of February, just shortly after Trump, was sworn in as United States president, he started, bringing about some new structures into a lot of things, are happening in the US. And one organization, USAID, is an organization that is in charge of using the tax of the United States to alleviate poverty, to help many nations. It's a big organization that has thousands of Americans in its employment. Donald Trump, appointed Elon Musk as the head of Dodge. Dodge is the agency for government efficiency. The role of Elon Musk is to cut down waste and expenses in the United States. So Dodge went ahead to carry out investigations on USAID, and USAID was shut down. Even there are speculations USAID also carry out a lot of foreign operations, which I wouldn't want to go. It's not within the scope of this broadcast for me to announce. So USAID was shut down, leading to the unemployment. Mr. David, please, this is Forex we're talking about here. So USAID was shut down, and to be honest, that led to the unemployment of thousands of Americans. In effect, to that, even people who are not living in America, who USAID has been supporting, like here in Nigeria, USAID has been the one responsible for sponsoring a lot of health care programs that we have here, like the HIV, supporting those with HIV with reduced cost, subsidizing the cost of HIV treatment, and many other vaccinations. And if you remember, during the course of last month, the federal government had to announce 28,000 Nigerians were being paid by USAID, and suddenly USAID stopped functioning. So Nigerian federal government had to take up that responsibility of salary for 28,000 people that Nigerian government was not paying for before. And aside that, hospitals, vaccinations, polio vaccination, this vaccination and that stopped. And the direct cost now goes to Nigerians to pay, bringing up increased cost in healthcare. The only cost that American government says they will keep funding is funding for HIV, because that one is life and death issue. All other funding for vaccination and other things, they stopped it. So these are the secondary effects of the shutdown of USAID. So the question is, with USAID shut down, what is the unemployment rate going to be like? What's the data going to be like for US this time around? Is it going to be good for the currency or bad for the currency? Is it going to be actual greater than forecast or less than forecast? So at least we have an insight. See, that's how to know what happens in this market. You need to put your ears to the ground and know what is happening, in foreign politics. Go to CNN, check out what is happening. Go to Bloomberg, CNBC, or generally just go on the net, just search. Or even the easiest one to do these days, if you know how to use ChatGPT, ChatGPT makes life a lot easier. ChatGPT is gradually beginning to retire Google. I'm telling you, just go to ChatGPT and type, a good prompt there, trying to know what's happening around the world, and it'll give you the updates on the latest developments. So we just keep our fingers crossed and see what will likely happen this afternoon as we approach the NFP. So again, if the data comes out good, we'll buy the dollar. If it comes out bad, we'll sell the dollar. But then it's also possible the data may not, be green all through, or red all through. There may be some conflict in the data. Some may be green, some may be red. At least for the unemployment rate, I'll give you an insight into what we expect with the USAID. Probably the data may come out bad, may come out bad for the dollar. We don't know yet. Let's still, open our hands and let's just cross our hands and see what will likely, happen. And also all the tariff issue that Donald Trump is bringing up is increasing tariff for Canada, for Mexico, all those things. They also have direct implication because now in Canada, Canadians are beginning to drop American products, as a way of fighting back. So if they don't purchase American products, then Americans who from the company that those things are being manufactured, if they don't get sold anywhere else, people may start losing jobs. All these things have their direct implication upon the economy. But then let's just wait and see. So if it's all good, we'll buy. If it's all bad, we'll sell. If it conflicts, well, we'll always have a way, around all these things. So that's just all I can say about what to expect. Now, Canada also will be releasing its data, but we will not be putting our attention on the Canadian employment change and unemployment rate. We always focus on the United States. All right, so with that being said, I'll flip over to the charts. I have two technical setup to share with us, which hopefully might trigger in the course of today, possibly before the NFP. If it does that, all well and good. I'll be looking at the AUD-JPY and the Euro-GBP. Those are the two setups that I have. Now, this is the AUD-JPY. Now, this instrument has been trending down. We've had a bullish outlook all along, but then it looks like there's no sufficient volatility to push price really up as expected. But currently, price, it saw some bearish movements. Some bearish movements, some slight pull, then price retrace. Now it's back to that previous support level. So technically, I'll be looking for a breakout in the bullish direction. I'm expecting a buy because price is back to the support level on the daily time frame. So go to 4-hour. Now, 4-hour, I've seen right from the beginning of the week or a couple of days like I've announced, we were seeing an inverse head and shoulder. So it's still very much in line. This is expected to trigger a bullish movement on this instrument. So prices at support, second leg of an inverse head and shoulder. We can just go over straight to 1-hour time frame and look for a possible reversal. Okay, I'm not seeing a good setup on 1 hour. Let's go down to 15 minutes. All right, so this 15 minutes, we can catch some move here. So we can wait for a reversal from this point. But the important part is that we need to wait for a clear breakout above this trend line before trigger a buy, with our RSI clearly above 50. The price is still far away from that region, so you just need to be patient and anticipate the breakout. So if price is able to break out above the upper trend line, I'll take a buy on AUD-JPY. So we're bullish on the AUD-JPY 10 minutes time frame. And the second one I'll look at is the Euro-GBP. Now for Euro-GBP, price broke out on the 4-hour time frame from the LA, that's the weekly outlook that I gave at the beginning of the week. I said that it was going to buy, it's done that already. But then currently, price is equally trading around the trend line on the daily, the rejection candle, touching the trend line. And we might be anticipating a reversal in price. That's kind of setup. So we can flip down to 1 hour. And right on the 1 hour, it's already giving us a shoulder and second shoulder. And anticipate a bearish breakout. Now, this region here is the neckline region. We need to wait for a clear break. A clear break means that we need a new candle to open below this level for us to trigger the sell. So we still have the shoulder edge, the front shoulder, and the breakout down. And potential for this can give us as much as as much as about 34 pips, 30, sorry, 33, let's just say 30 pips roughly. If you go like 50 and about 50 pips to Fibonacci is 1.8. So we have a head and shoulder set up on the 1 hour time frame for the Euro GBP, and we're watching for it to break out in the course of the day. I would rather wait for it to actually break out if I drop a signal. So you're active in your WhatsApp group. When I say drop to that level, I'll drop a signal in the group. All right, so that'll be all from my end this morning. Now, don't forget on NFP days, market may be quiet because the market is anticipating the release of the data. So you may not see much activity or much volatility until the time for the news. The news is the main event for the week. So that's why it's usually like that. Now, I want to bring an update. Yesterday, we were doing afternoon session analysis, and I remember vividly Madam Manaji, asking me to check for BTC USD, which I did. And we can clearly see that BTC USD has broken out, just like I told her that below this particular support, minor support level, and the Fibonacci over there, that price will target Fibonacci 50, and it may reverse on doing that. And that's exactly what happened. Price reversed, dropped again, trace, and dropped finally. At least the region I asked her to say that take profit is Fibonacci 50. So if she took that trade, that was a cool ATP trade, and just in line with the analysis. So like I always say, if you have anything you want me to analyze, always bring it up. I'll analyze it for you. And the ones I analyze also put it in consideration as we trade in the course of the day. All right, so I'll take a few of our requests as we round up. Okay, Mohammed is asking to check Euro USD. Now be very careful of the dollar-based pairs. Many of them may not move until afternoon when the NFP will be released. They really don't move on the NFP on NFP days. So trade them with caution. You may just try to have an insight into what is happening to them, not necessarily trading them until the data for the NFP is released. So let's look for Euro USD. All right, so this is Euro USD. For our 1 hour. Okay. I'm seeing a head and shoulder for which is like a reversal pattern, but I'm not seeing any corresponding resistance or trend line. So let me check it at psychological level. I want to prompt the reversal 1.08. Okay, this is 108000. That's a psychological level. Because to be honest, there's no setup about that's why I just want to watch out for the dollar pairs. There's no clear setup. But there's a psychological level on this Euro USD that may act as a resistance. Maybe that's what price may use for a reversal, because this is the head and shoulder that is forming. All right, this is what I would say to that person. If price breaks out below the neckline region, then you can look at taking a sell. But to be honest, it's still a tentative analysis. The main analysis will be in the afternoon when we're close to the news. But since you want an analysis for now, like this is the best I can give. So we have a head and shoulder forming, and price may break out downwards. And that's when it breaks below this support zone. The no candle goes below the support zone, then means the market's in a bearish trend. Take a sell. All right, so that's for Euro US. All right, sorry, we had the network glitch. I'm back. So I just analyzed the Euro USD tentative analysis, please take note. And some other person is asking about, I think, GBP, Euro card, GBP card. All right, so this Euro card, GBP card, GBP AUD has been massively bullish. There's been a lot of strength on those currencies in the last week. And we've been hopeful for reversal, though it looks like the reversal is coming gradually, but it's been slow. But ultimately, it will still reverse. For Euro, this is GBP card. You can see my setup here. This is the monthly time frame. There's a descending trend line, meaning we have, a bearish outlook. Then we have a rising wedge, which also is an indication of a bearish outlook. That's the GBP card. And we go down to the daily. You can see there's actually a confluence here between the trend line from the monthly time frame and the trend line from the daily time frame. So that is also another indication of a bearish movement or a bearish trend on this instrument. If we go down to the 4 hour, you can see at that same confluence point, there's a reaction. Price dropped a little yesterday. It's expected to drop further. Now, don't forget that today there is going to be news from Canada, by 2:30 p.m. Canada is having its own employment change and employment rates. Sorry, employment change and unemployment rate, just like the United States is having its own today. So if the data from Canada, if it comes out good for the Canadian dollar, then GBP card, that is what would drop GBP card today. So if you're on any card instrument, is the Canada employment change and unemployment rate that will decide what happens to that instrument today. Though I want to believe the data will come out good. If it comes out good, then we'll have a drop, in the GBP card. The same thing for Euro card. A good data from Canada is what will bring the instrument down, today. But on the other hand, like I said, America has imposed a tariff on Canada, but the tariff is yet to be implemented. It's just a political statement. It's not been implemented yet. I remember sometime, I think it was last week or at the beginning of this week, I just saw that Canadian dollar began to gain strength. So I quickly went online to check what's happening. And it was stated that America shifted forward the date for the implementation of that 25% tariff to April 2nd or so. So suddenly, when Donald Trump made that statement that America was going to impose a tariff on Canada imports into the US, instantly Canadian dollar started getting weak, because that's began to show weakness in the economy.
Your voice is breaking seriously, sir.
I think it's the network.
Your voice.
Can you
We don't hear most of this. We hear small time now.
It's the network. The network has been unstable. I don't know if it's better now.
Sir.
Is it better now?
Yes. At times it's very, very clear. Small time again, it will swallow up. Yes, sir.
Right.
No problem.
So I was saying that for Canada, the fundamentals around Canada at this point is that the United States has threatened to impose a 25% tariff on Canadian imports. And because of that, when the announcement was made shortly after Donald Trump was inaugurated into office, Canadian dollar went weak. That was weakness. It started selling. But then last week, I think towards the end of last week, there was an announcement that America will not be implementing that tariff until early April. So that brought strength into the Canadian economy. The Canadian dollar gained strength. So if by the reason of that, delay in the implementation of that tariff, which has led to strength on Canadian dollar, if the data today comes out good for the Canadian dollar, then GP card will sell. I can tell you that one. If it comes out good, the data, if the employment change comes out good, unemployment rate comes out good for the Canadian dollar, then GP card is going to sell. And the same thing is to be seen also on the Euro card. Any of the instrument that is card-based, where the card is a quote currency, that is what will likely happen to them. So I think that answers the analysis on the Euro card and the GB card. Armstrong, what about gold? So be careful of gold until afternoon NFP. Very, very, anything that has to do with dollar, either as gold or USD, Euro, USD, all those, be very careful. the best of the movements will come during the NFP. All right, so I think that'll be all from my end this morning. Don't forget to join us by 2:15. The link will be dropped by I think 2 p.m. thereabouts, but the platform will be open by 2:15. So make sure you join on time. Some people join very late. Don't be part of them. Join on time so they can take the signal, on time. BTC already moved. There's no setup on BTC. We gave Madam Manager asked and I analyzed BTC yesterday, and it has done its major move already. We wait for the next move of BTC. Nothing is happening on BTC at the moment. That's done. You can see it has dropped. No setup at the moment. But we'll see the next setup. We'll let you know. All right, that'll be all this morning. Take care and do have a great day. And see you in the afternoon for NFP. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Wishing you a pleasant weekend.
You too, man.
And a nice weekend.